So legislation and regulation is always going to be a challenge, and I think we've seen a lot of people stand up to say, well, what does this look like in the future when you have ethics and ethical use? What are the things that we need to think about? When I've often done a presentation and I've showed the latest technologies coming from Boston Dynamics on robotics as an example, what's interesting is watching how people respond to when a robot is hit. And the actual visceral response that people have is quite an interesting thing. And they're talking a bit about the rights of robots going forward. I mean, that's an interesting concept. So we're talking about something that has a huge amounts of data and information and capability. There's some great skits on YouTube showing how these becoming war machines are using deterministic models, whether it's a human it's interacting with or not. There's a bunch of really cool stuff happening. But the ethical use of robots and what it's meant to be doing, that is what many governments are questioning, and what will it be used for? If it's being used to potentially repair something or that we can't get to, and it be done more effectively, and that we're able to extract value from it, then that's a different conversation. If it's used to save a life, that's another conversation. And what if it destroys itself while saving a life? What happens to that robot? How do we need to think about that? So there's a lot of things that are happening. Legislation and regulation is already happening around the appropriate use of data, and the contraventions that have happened from many companies is now becoming part and parcel of any IT program that we run. We have no way of working around GDPR or compliance or legislative type environment. So that's becoming quite confined. So in other words, somebody might want to go to cloud as a technology and leverage all this machine learning and IoT, but the physical data might not be able to be transported out of that locality, so data residency. So yes, government has a big place to play. The appropriate use of data, information is the same as what we're going to be using technology for going forward. And I think as providers in that space, we have to be cognizant of the fact that this is going to be a difficult place for us to kind of work with. Sometimes we want to move people into this new world, but we have to do it in the right way.